I appeared on the earth just before the bombs went off in Pearl Harbor, and that, of course, led to the outbreak of the Pacific War. And so I was just a little baby in my mother's arms and was declared an enemy alien by my government, the government of Canada. And so my mother had to carry me as a result in her arms to the cattle stalls of Hastings Park, which was the assembly point for the community of some 22,000 Japanese Canadians that had been living up and down the coast. And so this community was dispossessed and then placed in internment camps through out the interior of BC. And so you had this situation where this peaceful community living their lives in the temperate climate of the West Coast were suddenly thrust into the harsh environment of the interior, you know, where there's a picture of Tashmi, which my family was at, and there's rows of shacks which are built of green wood, like unseasoned wood, and so, and then there's winter scenes where they're buried under snow, and there's huge icicles happening, and the people, two to a family in these little shacks, were like freezing their butts off. And the contrast to that kind of almost idyllic living that the West Coast gives you in Canada is rather stark. And then you have people who wandered over to the sugar beet farms in southern Alberta. And there was a huge labor shortage because the usual laborers had gone to war, the white laborers. So there's descriptions of it. Joy writes of this very powerfully, and I've done interviews with people, and they said, "Wow, geez, it was just like, you know, slavery days, that we arrived at the station and we lined up as a family, and then the white owners would come by and check us out, and they would only take the families that were young and healthy and had like big, strong sons, and the families that had aging grandparents and little kids were kind of left aside." So it was almost like, you know, like, let's check your teeth and everything. So it's a startling image.